Hello and thanks for joining us for our assessment of swimming webinar. I am Nathan Horn from iPhys-Ed.com and thank you for taking the time to join us today for this webinar. Now, the whole purpose of this webinar is to discuss different ways that you can assess your students' swimming ability. Now, I'm going to take you through a few different assessment tools which I've created and which you can use to help assess your students during their swimming units or if you are a swimming coach. We're going to look at the four main recognized strokes. We're going to look at freestyle, breaststroke, backstroke, and butterfly. Now, the first way that we're going to look at assessing students is by taking a quick look at their stroke technique. This is a way that I've always done it when I've taught swimming, is just getting a bit of an idea of where students are at in terms of their stroke technique. Now, one of the tools that I've used to do this in the past is called the Quicklook stroke assessment. Now, it's a very, very simple form that you can print out and use with your students. It has a space for student names down the side, and then the four recognized strokes. Now, what you're looking for is to assess the students against this 3-point scale. So are they emerging, recognized, or proficient? If they're emerging, you might see some very basic version of the stroke, but they still have a lot of work to do. Recognized would be demonstrating most of the elements of the correct stroke technique, and then proficient would be demonstrating all of the elements of the stroke technique and moving through the water in a very efficient manner. There's also a digital version of this which you can use using Google Sheets and is also available if you want to use it on a computer, a laptop, or even on a mobile device. Now, as I said, this assessment tool will really help you to be able to just get a quick overview and see where your students are at in terms of their ability in each of the strokes, and it may even help you in grouping your students into different groups based on their ability level so that you're best able to help them.
So just a quick how to use the Quicklook stroke assessment digital version, very similar to the printable version but in a digital form here on a Google Sheet. So all you need to do once you've made a copy is type in the student's name, and you can continue to add names underneath here, so as many students as you have. And then what you're going to do is for each of the strokes, just click on these arrows. It's going to give you a drop down for the 3 options of the Quicklook stroke assessment. So you want to know whether the student has an emerging technique, a recognized technique, or a proficient technique in each stroke. You can see each of the descriptions underneath, so that will give you some guidance. Once you select it, it will pop up there, and they are color coded, so you can see very easily as you look across where students are and what level they are on. If you want to add more students at the bottom here, if you run out of space, all you need to do is just copy those and then paste them below, and it will continue just to add rows underneath. So you can add as many different rows underneath as you like as you continue to add students. So that's the Quicklook stroke assessment tool.
So as you can see with this digital version, you can use that on your computer, on a phone, or even on an iPad, so readily accessible for you wherever you are at the pool. Once you've got an idea of where your students are at in terms of emerging, recognized, and proficient, it's time to start thinking about maybe assessing them in a more detailed fashion. Now, a tool that I've used to do that with my students in the past is through the use of these swim assessment cards. Now, there is a card for each of the 4 strokes. On the front has a picture of the stroke, and on the back has the success criteria or the types of elements that you'd be looking for in students when they are swimming that stroke. There's also a series of group assessment tools there that also have the same criteria on them, but enable you to assess multiple students at the same time. And then finally, an individual swim stroke assessment record that you can keep or you can give to your students at the end once you've had the chance to assess them. So we'll go through each of these and take a bit of a look and see what they look like. For each of these detailed assessments, we are looking at a few different parts of the swim stroke technique. The first thing we're looking at is body. So we're looking at their body positioning. We're looking at their legs, arms, breathing, and timing. So the blabbed technique. So body, legs, arms, breathing, and timing. So for each stroke, we're breaking down those success criteria or essential elements into those 5 categories. You can see an example here of the Freestyle stroke assessment cards. This would be the front, and then this is the back with the essential elements or success criteria broken into those 5 categories, and a place for you to tick them off as you go. Now, the way that I've used this in the past, which has been really successful, is by laminating these, and then you can tick them with a whiteboard marker and then wipe them off again poolside, and it also helps protect the assessment cards once they're laminated from any water that may splash on them. Here's a closer look at the Freestyle version. So you can see here some of the success criteria. So for body, we're looking at head looking forward and down, shoulders parallel, flat body position, hips below the waterline, hips level on both sides, and a streamlined position. For the legs, that the kick is initiated at the hips, toes pointed, ankles flexible, continuous kicking. So all of these success criteria can also become coaching points, whether it's you as the teacher or the coach giving students the specific feedback, or it could even be done as a peer assessment where you have your students giving feedback to other students based upon the things that they're seeing or not seeing as they watch the person do that stroke. Here's an example of the breaststroke one. So the same format: body, legs, arms, breathing, and timing. So for breaststroke in particular, timing is something that's very, very important in breaststroke. So you can see pull, breathe, kick, glide. So again, that they're not only success criteria, but they become vocal cues for the students as they're thinking about that swimming: pull, breathe, kick, and glide. Backstroke. Again, body, legs, arms, breathing, and timing. And finally, butterfly. So you can see there is one card for each of those 4 recognized strokes. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's also a group assessment tool. Now, what this does is it just enables you to assess multiple students at the same time. So all of those same success criteria that were on the stroke assessment cards are down the left-hand side there in terms of their body, legs, arms, breathing, and timing. And then across the top, there is a space to write student names, and then you can obviously tick them off as you go. So if you are teaching in a group setting, then this tool is going to be very, very helpful for you in that regard. That also exists in all 4 of the strokes, so you can see examples there of the Freestyle, breaststroke, backstroke, and butterfly cards, group assessment cards. Now, the final detailed assessment tool that you can use once you've filled in those group assessment cards is the personal stroke record. Now, this is something that you can give to your students at the end of their time with you so that they can see which of those success criteria or essential elements they've been able to meet and which ones they still need to continue working on. So all it is a matter of transferring those records from the group assessment tools or the individual assessment tools across onto this individual stroke assessment record. All of the success criteria and essential elements from the other cards are exactly the same on this one, and there are spaces for them to be ticked, and you can give this to them as a record of their achievement within swimming for each year or each session. This also, well, you can see a closer example of it there. I'm going to show you next a digital version of the detailed stroke assessment, and then how that detailed stroke assessment using a digital version can be automatically created into a assessment record to be emailed to students or even parents or teachers or anybody for that matter, just by simply filling in the online form. So the next slide you're going to see is the digital version of the detailed stroke assessment.
Okay, so now that you've made a copy of the detailed stroke assessment Google form, I'll show you how it works. Once you've made the copy, this is what you should see appear on your screen. This is the editable format of the Google form. So if you want to make any changes in terms of adding classes or emails or any other information to the form, you can do that. The form will show the 4 different strokes: freestyle, breaststroke, backstroke, and butterfly. And then for each underneath, you have the detailed success criteria or critical elements for each of those. So you can see this is completely editable. If you want to change any of these, feel free to do that. Once you've done that and you want to use the form, or if you want to use it as is, all you need to do is send it to the people. I'll show you a preview of it here so that you can see what it looks like and how it how it can be used. So again, you could do this on a computer, you could do it on a phone, you could do it on a tablet, however you like. So all you need to do is enter the student name, and their email. If you want to, we can use later when we're going to create the personal swimming record, to be able to email that to the student. Once you've done that, you need to just select which stroke you are going to assess. So if I'm going to assess freestyle, I'm going to click on that one, and it's going to take me to the freestyle success criteria or critical elements. If I was to click on one of the other strokes, it would take me to the critical elements or success criteria for that one. So once I'm there, I'm looking at the different areas. So again, body, legs, arms, breathing, and timing. And as I observe these things happen with the student, I am ticking them. So as I go through and tick them all, once I've finished my assessment, my observation, all I need to do is hit the submit button. I can add some comments here at the bottom. You need to work on your kicking more. So I can add as much into that comment as I want. Once I'm done, I'm going to submit, and that is going to record the assessment for that student. If I go back to my form now, I can see the responses at the top here. I can see the summary of the responses, the different strokes. This would be for all of the students, or I can look at the individual students here as a record. This is also linked to a Google spreadsheet. So if I click on the Google spreadsheet, it's going to show me that information in spreadsheet form. And then what we can do with this information, which I'll explain in the next video, is show you how to use this information and use an add-on called Autocrat to be able to use the assessment information that you've gathered to create a personal swimming record for students. So you can see here all of the information for the assessment that we just did. So that's a really quick look at how to use the Google form and where the information goes. In the next video, I'll show you how to use this information to create the personal swimming record using the Autocrat add-on. So as I mentioned, I want to show you how we are going to use this information to create a personal swim record. Now, you will have needed to have also downloaded the personal swim record template, which is available in your swimming assessment toolkit. Once you have this downloaded, you are good to go. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go back to your spreadsheet, which has your assessment responses in here, and you're going to go and click on the add-ons button and get add-ons. We need to get the Autocrat add-on, and that's going to help us to be able to create this personal swim record. So you're just going to type in Autocrat, and you should see it come up here, this one here at the top. So click free, and that's going to ask you for permissions to add that to your account. Once it's added to your account, we'll be ready to move on to the next step. So when it comes up, we're just going to give it access. And then we should be good to go. Okay, allow the access. Okay, now when you go to your add-ons menu, in a second you should see the Autocrat option pop up there. There we go, Autocrat, get started. So again, I'm going to go to my add-ons menu, and up comes Autocrat. It may take a few minutes to load. Once it's done, we're good. Okay, so we're going to create a new job. We're going to call our name, call our job personal swim record, and then click next. Now we need to choose a template. So the template is our personal swim record template that we already have downloaded, and it should be in your Google Drive. So all you need to do is click from Drive and find that personal swim record template. The easiest way to do that is just to type in personal swim record here, search, and you'll see it there, personal swim record Autocrat template. Select, and choose that template. Okay, you can see it's been selected, and then I'm ready to move on to the next step. Now this is the step that's going to be the most important step in all of the process. Now the way that this template is designed is it will work with any of those 4 strokes, but we need to make sure that we map the tags that are in the template to the information that's on this spreadsheet. So this will take you a little bit of time, but once it's done once, you never ever have to do it again. So we want to match each of these tags to the corresponding information in the spreadsheet. So name, we want it to map to student name. Timestamp, map to timestamp. Stroke, now we want that one to map to stroke. Now here's where it gets interesting. Okay, you can see B1, B2, B3, B4, L1, L2, L3, L4. Okay, so this is talking about our bodies, legs, arms, breathing, and timing. So B1, number 1's are always going to be freestyle. So we're going to do freestyle body. B2 is going to be breaststroke body. B3 is going to be backstroke body. B4 is going to be butterfly body. So once I've done all the bodies, again, freestyle body, breaststroke body, backstroke body, butterfly body, now I'm going to move on to legs. Legs 1 is freestyle legs. Legs 2, breaststroke legs. Legs 3, backstroke legs. Legs 4, butterfly legs. Okay, now I'm moving on to arms. A1, freestyle arms. A2, breaststroke arms. A3, backstroke arms. A4, butterfly arms. Now I'm moving on to breathing. BR1, breathing, freestyle 1. Freestyle breathing. Breaststroke breathing. Backstroke breathing. Butterfly breathing. Now we're on to timing, freestyle timing. Breaststroke, timing. Backstroke, timing. And butterfly timing. Last set is our comments. So comment 1 is freestyle comments. Comment 2 is breaststroke comments. Comments 3 is backstroke comments. And comments 4 is going to be butterfly comments. So there you go. Like I said, it will take you a little bit of time to do this. You only need to do it once. Once it's done once, you never ever have to do this again. But please make sure that you've put them in the correct order as we've just described. Once that's done, you can hit next. Okay, now I want to name my file. So I want to name the file that is going to be, or the template that's going to be produced. So if I want to call this a student name, I can just click on this arrow, click student name, and then paste that in there. Sorry, try that again. Click on student name. We'll paste student name and then personal swim record. If I want to get even more specific, I can do student name stroke, put a space there, student name stroke personal swim record. Now when the document is created, it's going to come up with the student's name, the stroke that it's doing, and their personal swim record. So it could be Nathan, freestyle, personal swim record. You can play around with that and edit. You can either choose a Google document or a PDF. In this case, I'm going to choose Google document. And I want it to output as multiple documents. So every time is going to be a different document. So every student will have a different document. You can also choose a single document. That means that every record that's on your spreadsheet is going to come out in one single document, page after page after page. I'm going to choose multiple documents. I'm going to choose my destination folder, where I want this to go to. So whereabouts in my Google Drive these are going to be saved to. Okay, I'm going to save this to the Swimming Assessment Toolkit. Okay, step 6 we don't need to worry about. We can just skip that step and click Next. Merge conditions, again, we can skip that step. Share doc and emails. Now this is where if you want to send this document straight to your student, you can do that. So I'm going to say, yes, I want to share this document in email, and I want to share it as a view-only doc, so they can only view it, they can't edit it. Okay, so I want it to go to, who do I want to go to? I want it to go to the email address that was inputted in the form. So again, I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to choose email, and I'm going to paste email in here. Now every email that was in the column on the spreadsheet is going to come across, and it's going to email to each of those different people. The subject's going to be swimming personal stroke record. Again, you can use all the different tags that are in there to change the different type of information. You want to put the name or the different stroke in there. Again, the same in the message. So hi, I'm going to say student name this time. Here is your swimming personal stroke record. Thanks. Okay, so this is the email that will go out to the students with the document attached. Once that's done, I'm going to hit next. I can run on form trigger. I'm going to choose yes. So this means that every time I fill in the form, it's going to run this this automation, and the document is just going to get automatically emailed to the email address. So I'm going to choose yes and enable the project triggers. Only need to do this the first time that we do this process. And then I'm going to push save. Okay, so there we go. We have finished with our Autocrat setup. It is ready to go. Now, because I've already filled this in once, that first response there won't work automatically because we've already filled the form in. So I'm going to have to run this and make sure it runs. To do that, I'm just going to hit this play button. And it's going to run this Autocrat automation and start creating documents. So you can see there, merge sequence started. While that's happening, if you look across here, it's adding some columns to the end of your document here to show you that it's working. So we can see the 4 things and it's starting to go. Okay, so I can see that that's worked. It's come through on my email. So I'm just going to open up my Gmail and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I can also go here. I'm going to close this down. Okay, you can see the link is here. So link to the document, I'm going to click on this, and it's going to take me straight to that document, but that document was emailed directly to me, and I'll show you that once I get my email open. Hopefully it worked. Here we go, so we can see personal swim record, student name Nathan, the date when the assessment took place, and then all of the observed elements for the stroke of freestyle. So these are all the things that we observed that student doing as they were swimming the stroke with the comment below. So like I said, completely automated. The next time I fill in that form, this document will be created for the student and be emailed to them directly without me needing to do anything. So a lot of setup at the start, but once it's set up, it should work without any issues every single time you fill that form in. Now, for all of those assessment tools which you've just seen, they are available to download from iPhys-Ed.com. You can purchase them from the online shop. Now, if you are interested in getting those different resources, there are 14 different assessment tools, including the ones that you've seen today, available to you. And for those people who are watching this webinar, we have a very, very special offer, a sale price of $20. That is a saving of $5 for those assessment tools. So if you're interested in getting those at a discounted rate, all you need to do is go to the website iPhys-Ed.com/shop, and during checkout, once you've put them in your cart, if you use the coupon code SWIMWEB, then you'll see that discount reflected during that time, and you'll get this entire set of resources, 14 different assessment tools to help you assess your students with swimming for the low price of $20. I've used all of these assessment tools extensively in the past few years with my students, and I can't speak highly enough of them. So hopefully, if you're interested in doing those, please go to the website and grab them now, and make sure you get take advantage of that discount. If you have any questions about those resources or any of those assessment tools that you've seen, then please feel free to reach out to me at either Nathan on Twitter or via email nathan@iPhys-Ed.com, and I would be more than happy to assist you in answering any questions you have about those resources and how they may work for you. Again, if you're interested in getting those, remember our special offer,
14 different assessment tools for that low price of $20, saving you $5 on the usual price using that coupon code SWIMWEB. Thank you so much again for attending this swimming assessment of swimming webinar. I hope that you've enjoyed it and gotten something out of it. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Nathan Horn from iPhys-Ed.com,